This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. Go to bigheadsmedia.com for more great podcasts. Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Massive Late Fees Dumpster Diving. My name is Mark. With me as always is my co-host Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Not too bad. How about yourself?
Good. Doing good. Have a good week here. Real quick, I was on Twitter before we started, and this caught my eye. I don't know why, but someone says, El Gran Virga Rojo del Diablo says...
The big green something devil, maybe?
I guess. Well, I know Rojo's red.
Oh, I thought you said Verde in there at one point.
Virga Rojo
gotcha.
del Diablo. El Gran Virga. So the big... something red, the devil. I don't know. But he says, fuck, marry, kill, IHOP, Denny's, Waffle House. It's a really weird fuck, marry, kill, but I'm definitely killing Denny's.
I guess they're the premier breakfast places in the country.
Yeah. I
agree with that. I mean, Denny's sucks.
I mean, I'll fuck Waffle House, I guess. Marry IHOP and kill Denny's.
So I would put that. I would go the other way. I would marry Waffle House just because I like how they have jalapenos on all of their stuff.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
And IHOP is like way more expensive than it should be for like a pancake place. It just makes no sense why they charge the prices they do.
They've got decent biscuits and gravy.
Yeah, I'm not a big biscuits or briskets and gravy person.
Briskets and that's a very filling breakfast.
Never had brisket.
Brisket's not bad. Anyway, what was bad was this episode of Home Improvement that we watched.
It wasn't very good. Mark, did you watch Home Improvement when it first came out?
I did. I did watch the show fairly regularly, honestly.
Yeah, I also think I watched it in like its initial run. I could be wrong on that, but I definitely watched it a lot in syndication. Mm-hmm. Like it came into syndication like probably in my mid to late teens, and I kind of realized as we do these that a lot of the shows I watched, I don't even understand why I watched them. I don't seem to really have enjoyed them much when I did watch them.
Yeah.
Like, I watched Family Matters a lot, but I don't remember, like, laughing a lot. I mean, maybe when I was younger and, like, at first, like, the Urkel parts were quite humorous to me when I was a young lad. As we say here in England.
Yeah.
America.
USA. We film this / record this in England, just so you guys know. But then we also import it back to the United States because we're American. We just fly over to England to do it. It's kind of like an in-your-face sort of thing. Like we do it
because
in their face.
Because they don't make any money off it because we don't like declare income we make over there, and we don't properly say what we're bringing in the country. So really, we're taking money out of the country.
Yeah, we do it just to fuck with them.
Yeah.
But no, I agree with your sentiment.
It's just so weird because like I watched, and I always almost call it Tool Time, which is the show within a show,
right?
Much like Hamlet.
Yep. Yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger's Hamlet.
Yeah, I realized we also made another Arnold Schwarzenegger reference at the end there too.
Yep.
Yeah, we were Arnold all over the place. Oh shit! Actually, I completely forgot. I watched a documentary called The Game Changers that he's heavily involved in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe I should have talked about that, huh?
Maybe.
Whoops.
Is it about people that handled Nintendo cartridges?
No, it's about veganism. Although it never explicitly says it, it's just plant. But then it's like a documentary, like much like a Michael Moore kind of like scenario where like they make a claim that's like completely outlandish, and I know it's 100% false right in front of my eyes. Mm-hmm. Because at one point, like, there's a person who talks about, like, the dental record, and they're saying, like, oh, human beings were never, evolved to eat meat, which is 100% untrue, because even, like, a prominent vegan, like, paleontologists, the people whoever study ancient people and like their bones and stuff. I mean, we're clearly evolved to eat meat. I mean, we have incisors, that just rip flesh apart.
Correct.
But yeah, so just that alone, it's like I mean, if you get that one thing that's very obvious wrong, I mean, there were just like some crazy like it's a crazy movie.
Yeah, that's the thing too. A lot of people will point to teeth and say like, well, human beings' teeth are mostly flat, so like, aren't they designed to eat plants then and not meat? And like look at a wolf and like all their teeth are really sharp. And it's like, yeah, wolves also don't have opposable thumbs, so that's like
Right.
that's a difference, like.
And we're omnivores, whereas they're just carnivores, so they never have to worry about crunching and shredding shrubbery.
Yeah, exactly. We're
See, well, I'm
omnivores.
sorry. Here in England, we call it shrubbery, but it's just like bushes in America, I think is what we say.
Correct. Yes. When you go to the apothecary, you will find that no, and we like to say, instead of a podcast, we like to call this a chinwag because that's what we say here in England. But no, like our teeth are maybe flatter than most people would expect for an omnivore, but that's because we also evolved to use tools, to use stuff that we're not designed to rip to like hunt an elk and like rip its jugular out with our teeth. No, we're not designed to do that, but we are designed to slash it with a knife.
Do you know? Do you know how we did hunt big game back like in the Paleolithic era?
No.
So that's a subject I'm really fascinated by. So I have way more than you want to hear about this. But actually, what we did for the most part was called exhaustion hunting, where we just have like a bunch of people kind of lined up. And since we can sweat, whereas most of our prey does not, we would just literally chase something until it like had a heart attack, and then we'd like kill it.
Wow, that's
A heart attack, or not necessarily a heart attack, but it literally could not run anymore. It would like be collapsing because it couldn't run, and then it was just like a easy kill.
so. Billy Joel was writing about Paleolithic man then. Heart attack, you ought to know by now.
I guess I'm not sure. I'm not very familiar with this catalog.
Well, the next line was pick your berries. I don't know. I can't think of something about gathering.
Pick your berries.
Yeah, yeah. The next line is about gathering.
Okay.
So I'm guessing the first verse is about hunting.
Oh, yeah, it's probably not.
But yeah, tool time.
Yeah, Home Improvement. So yeah, you watch it like a lot, or because I definitely watched like probably like complete seasons at a certain.
I would say I probably watched most weeks. It was one of those shows that the whole family watched. It was just one of the ones that my family, for whatever reason, chose, and we watched it.
Around here, Tim Allen is from Michigan, and so like local ties are like local references. So I think a lot of people around here in general probably were more inclined to watch it than not. I did watch it not just for those references, but it is nice to see like local references or wearing a shirt of like a college that nobody outside of the state would be aware of.
Yeah, Alma College or something like that.
And notice the kids' room is like way overly done so in that way. Like it was like an advertisement for the state of Michigan.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like he was doing those Pure Michigan commercials before he actually did them.
Right. That's right. I work in the legal field, and a lot of the courts I call, there's at least one, if not more, that have like, whatever like city it is. Like say it was a city of Pontiac. Pontiac is not one of them. That's why I'm using it as an example. They'll have the Tim Allen part from the Pure Michigan like as their whole music.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because it's like I've heard I'm pretty sure at least two, maybe three courts have that. It's just kind of like, there's such like, yeah, he's from around here, that they're so happy to put it in the commercial for their, official court.
Yeah, so I don't know what it was because, like you, I don't really ever remember. Like I said, it was just something that my family watched. So I didn't at that time period, I didn't have control over what was on the TV, and I didn't have a TV of my own. So if I wanted to watch TV at night with the family, it was going to be whatever my parents wanted to watch. But I don't remember ever laughing super hard at it. I don't remember like really enjoying it. And I go back and I look at it, and obviously I don't like it. There was nothing funny in this episode to me, but it's also, I wonder if part of it is the lack of choice. So during this time period, there was basically three networks that would.
Yeah, I think there's for sure familiarity with the characters too.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. And it just, I think competition has made television better, honestly.
Oh, it definitely has.
But yeah, so this show, so the episode opens with they're talking about sawhorses. They're
Yeah,
wearing
there's always a very very formulaic setup. Like at the very beginning, it's almost always they're on the set of Tool Time, and there's some wacky like stunt with like some sort of electrical appliance. So I'm sorry, you're saying, Mark?
yeah. So they're wearing horrible cowboy hats, and
Using terrible accents.
yeah, and they're talking about sawhorses. Basically, Al says that he's usually a traditionalist, but now he's moved into the modern '90s, and he's using a metal sawhorse.
Yeah, these two men care more about sawhorses than a man who owns a sawhorse factory. No one has ever cared about sawhorses to this extent in the history of the entire world.
Exactly, it's just a way to put some wood on if you're going to cut it.
Right. So yeah, Al's like, oh, I'm, reluctant to do so, but here I am with my crazy modern Binford, which, for those not in the know, Binford is the name of the company. This is very odd to me. I don't think this makes a lot of sense. Okay, Tim is on the show, sponsored by. It seems like a local company because like the guy who owns the tool company appears on the show several times. Like they're like friends. So it's like a local company, and they have. Well, it's basically like an ad for their show. That's all it is. I mean, all they have are Binford tools and like Tim and Al, like showing like they only ever show like one stage of a project. Like they never finish a project. Is what I gather from all the episodes I've seen.
Yeah, it's always like the initial stage.
It's like you're gonna need these steps for this treehouse you're making, and it's like you never see any other part of the treehouse. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they only use Binford tools, which for all I know, these are like the shittiest tools ever. I mean, but this company makes so much money that they could just afford to put on a show that employs at least way more than 3 people. There's a crew and that sort of thing.
Yeah, cameraman.
It only seems to be on, and they say several times that he's a public access show. So how are they making any money off of the show?
I don't know. Like, I don't get this because, yeah, like you said, I mean, basically, it's Tim. And somehow he made friends with Al, who's an actual competent repairman. He decided to make a public access show about tools. Binford, the tool company, said, "Hey, we'll sponsor this because this will spread awareness throughout the local area about our tools." And they must be shelling out. Not that it's like a hugely budgeted show or anything. But it's enough for him to support his family on, like, whatever they're paying him.
Right, and they live in a nice house, and he's able to afford all these, like, expensive side projects, like his hot rod.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong, but I think at one point they do say that Tim started off as a salesman for Binford Tools. Okay. So I think they actually created the show with him in mind. Like, I think it was, straight up from, the ground, it was a Binford, project.
Yeah, I don't know if they're making enough money off of selling. Is it that good of a return on investment? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it seems to have like a huge crowd too. So maybe they charge admission to go to the show. Maybe that's the only way they're making money off it. Maybe they charge like $100 a ticket, and that's why they're so successful. Because it doesn't make any sense as a business model to me.
No, not at all. Oh, so anyway, So Tim, of course, he's got his souped-up sawhorse. I don't know why you would need this. It looks like
it's 100% unnecessary.
Yeah, it looks like a horse, and it moves on its own with an engine. I don't even know what else to say. I get the bit. I guess it's not funny, and he crashes into the camera, and then we get along with the actual story.
It really the whole joke is that this guy is incompetent with his tools. I mean, I that's like the whole show.
Yeah, which I don't know how that looks good for Binford. At what point were people like, well, maybe these Binford tools just suck?
Right. I mean, I think they do break in several episodes.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I mean, I guess they just make the disconnect between Tim and the tools because obviously, I guess they're thinking most people think they're more like Al than Tim because the Al people are like, oh, okay, this Al can obviously use the tools competently, whereas Tim just puts like a battery onto like a fucking egg beater and like kills his family.
Yeah, do you think that Tim, I guess Tim, that's sort of what this episode's about, is Tim doesn't realize what a joke he is.
Right.
Like Al is the one that shows people how to competently use tools, and Tim's the one that they laugh at.
Yeah, yet he's the star of the show, which again doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's a very strange setup.
Yeah. But so Tim is putting together a intercom system for their house. Now, their house doesn't seem big enough to me to have an intercom system, but
I don't know. I mean, the different sets we've seen, like they seem to have no logical sense whatsoever. Like their basement is like the size of like a warehouse,
right.
and their garage is big enough to fit like a hot rod and extra space, an entire film crew, and two men. I mean, they definitely play with dimensions very oddly in this.
They really do. I mean, it seems like they have a nice house, but I mean,
and they never really pinpoint where it is, which actually they sort of do in this episode because they make a reference later about the intercom being interfered with by the airplane. So
right.
Is that saying they're in Romulus somewhere or near there?
Yeah, I'm guessing that maybe it's Livonia or someplace. Yeah, someplace close to the airport. I wouldn't think that they would be living downriver, but maybe somewhat close to downriver. So, like, I'm guessing Livonia.
Yeah, that sounds like it makes a lot of sense, Livonia.
But anyway, so he's doing this intercom thing, and it's Randy, right? It's Jonathan Taylor Thomas. Is that the one?
JTT is what some of us call him, but yeah.
Yeah, the Simba himself, young Simba himself, comes in with his friend, and he goes up to his room, and the intercom starts working. And Tim hears JTT basically saying that Tim is a fuck up and an idiot. And
his friend actually seems to like Tim, but like he's like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, it's funny too. He does really go out of his way. It's because his friend's like, man, your dad's funny and everything. I really like him. And it's like, oh yeah, well, listen to this fucking asshole.
Right. And to add to his point, he incompetently is overhearing the conversation.
Right, exactly. So yeah, he's basically eavesdrops on his kids. That's another thing that comes up. Why is this intercom always on? Like, yeah,
and how does nobody else ever hear it from like any other end?
Yeah, like once, like at the end of the episode when it actually starts working for real because Al put it together, people can just hear what's going on in the other rooms. You don't have to push a button or anything. That seems odd.
Yeah, I don't understand. I wonder if Al was taking care of anything else at Tim's house that Tim can do right.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking too. Why is it from the intercom?
Right. So anyways, Tim Candyman Allen's character, Tim Taylor, little inside, I know. He's like, all pissed off and, bitching about his child having no respect for him. So he goes to his neighbor Wilson, who on every show, like, I mean, this is the most. This might be the most formulaic show ever. I mean, you can close your eyes and know what's happening on the show if you've seen it once.
Anyone out there could write an episode of this.
Yeah, so they go. He goes next door and like Tim. Oh wait, I forgot. There is a little bit of a subplot here, or a B story, if you will. The older brother Brad is having a difficult relationship with his girlfriend. He wants to impress her because she like starts liking this guy who reads like
literature
and like she's getting into classical music, which he is not.
Yeah, she used to be into finger banging and ponytails, side ponytails, and now she's into high literature and everything, and Brad is not into that shit.
Yeah, he's more of a comic book guy, if that. Mm-hmm. Like that would be a stretch for him, probably.
So he's trying to read David Copperfield because that's her favorite book, and for some, I mean, I understand. I guess I understand why he thinks it's about the magician, but even then, like 600 pages about the magician would probably not be that entertaining either.
Yeah, I actually also thought that when I was, when I first heard the name, because I had heard of the magician before the book.
Sure. Yep. I think I'm sure I probably did too, because the David Copperfield was a pretty famous magician when we were pretty young. So
Yeah.
like 4, 5, 6 years old. So we definitely would have grown up hearing about him. So I'm sure I don't remember, but I'm sure the first time I heard that book's title, I probably thought it was about him too.
If only he could make all those allegations disappear.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like
Yes.
everyone, all these highbrows writing Home Improvement have the other characters laugh at this David Copperfield thing,
Right.
and then silly old Tim Taylor, he says the exact same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. These writers, like, you think you're better than us.
Yeah, with your snooty tool time, witticisms. But yeah, so his neighbor's like, oh, well, they kind of get to be that. He goes, did you do this to your father? Tim's like, no. He's like, well, when did your father die? He's like, when I was like 10 or 9 or something, or
Yeah.
maybe 8. I don't know.
11.
But it turns out it was something. But it turned out it was before, he kind of says, well, you didn't get to that age in front of your dad because he already died. So Tim, kind of comes to the understanding, oh, yeah, that's what's happening here. I would have done. It's just a part of growing up, which I've kind of experienced a little bit in my old household. Mark, I don't know about yourself.
Yep.
My older one is getting a little more moody than I would prefer.
Yeah. Yeah. A little lippy. Yep.
Yeah,
It
you have a
happens.
teenager, so I'm sure it's a little more intense for you.
Yeah, it definitely does happen. I think Wilson, I think Wilson's right on this. Unfortunately for Tim, I guess I could make a joke about how he was so unfunny his dad killed himself or whatever, but I don't know if Tim Allen's, like, I know he bases some of this stuff on his real life. I don't know if his actual dad is dead or died when he was very young or whatever. I'm gonna guess that's a distinct possibility. So I guess I won't make any jokes about it, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I didn't realize it was like based on his real life or whatever, because I didn't think he had like a family and stuff. But I guess it would explain the one episode where he and Al are busted at the airport with a illegal quantity of cocaine.
Yep, exactly. And they have to turn snitch. Yeah.
Yeah, one thing I noticed also in this episode is that Mark, they mention him several times. That's the youngest brother,
Hmm.
played by Noah Tyler,
I don't know.
Taylor,
No one,
Teeter.
no one cares.
Todd. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him. He looks like he has giant teeth. He's probably a Mormon. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. But no, yeah, he was definitely the most nondescript of the
Yeah, but
kids.
I think they kind of forgot about him because he's like there in the very last scene.
Yeah.
And again, that always makes me wonder, like, is he paid like the full amount for just being there for like 5 minutes?
I think
If so, that's the best job ever.
I think if he has a line, yeah, which he did. I think if you have a line, he gets paid the same amount.
It'd be awesome.
But so yeah, Wilson says, hey, it's just a normal part of growing up. Get over it, basically. And I mean, that's pretty much all that happens in this episode. So he confronts JTT and says, "Hey,
Thank you.
I heard what you said about me." And he says, "Oh, you were spying on me." And he's like, "Well, not on purpose. The thing accidentally started working." And so he says, "Yeah, you're a loser or whatever." He really busts on him, and then Tim basically says, "Hey, I know why you're doing this. It's because you're at this time period in your life. You're gonna be a jerk, for a couple of years. I'm just gonna roll with it until you come out on the other side," kind of thing. He basically gives him an excuse to be an asshole to him, which seems like a mistake to me.
And also, don't forget the part where he wackily misinterprets the advice, which he does every single time he speaks to Wilson.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But then he just somehow conveys the point without actually understanding it. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, he's like, "You've got to clean your teeth on my bones," or something like that.
Yeah.
Which
Because
sounded like something Brian Singer would say.
I think he did. But we'll do more about Brian Singer next episode of House. Thanks, guys.
We charge the London audience too to come see us. That's another way that we just screw over the English people.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Check mate.
mate is something that we say here in England. It doesn't mean your spouse. It just means like a friend. But that's pretty much the episode. And then Al comes and fixes it. Jill tells
Brad.
Yeah, Jill tells Brad, like her and Brad kind of go back and forth about what's going on. His girlfriend ends up dumping him. She's going down on the sophisticated guy now. And Jill is, at first I thought she was just putting on so that Brad would feel better. But then it became really clear that she was also very upset.
I think that, I don't know if that was like because I think that was I think he had like a kept on and off again relationship with a girl named Jennifer. I assume it's the same one. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm guessing. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't think she was all that great.
No, I don't remember anything about her. I remember the episode where Brad had marijuana. That's much later, but
Oh, nice. I remember an episode where I think it was Randy. This is the dumbest plot ever, by the way. He wanted to have he was having a birthday party, so his dad made him a dance floor, which I don't understand why that's necessary at all. Because what 12-year-old kid doesn't want to fucking dance?
Right.
And then Tim, being Tim, he over polished it. So this girl he liked slipped and sprained a wrinkle on it. Mm-hmm. Her dad was the super overprotective.
Nice.
And so they put her foot in the punch because it was cold, and then later the dad drank some without them being able to warn him in time. And he goes, "Oh, it tastes like Sally had a hand in it," and they go, "Well, something like that," and the laugh track goes nuts.
What a fucking horrible joke!
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
This show's garbage. Like most of the stuff we watch for this.
Yeah, we should probably do a good one at one point, something we like.
Yeah, I don't know. We could think of something. We could do an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, something. Maybe Castle Rock. Oh, wait, we're doing that for the other show, aren't we?
Yeah.
Got too many shows going on. I'm confused.
Yeah, me too. I'm confused with all the shows. But, we're addicted to this.
Yeah, some of us are on more shows than others, apparently.
Well, I do the show with Carol.
She's a whore! I meant you, actually. He said Carol right before he said that. I was leading into it. That was bad timing. Entirely bad timing.
Or was it really good timing?
Carol is a lovely person. You, on the other hand.
I know.
You're like louse.
I love that term, louse. All right, so we will see you next week with something else terrible. I don't know what yet. I don't know. Maybe one of these days we'll plan this out beforehand so that you guys can watch whatever you want. Watch with us if you want to watch with us.
What?
I don't know.
Are you drunk?
Yeah. I'm bleeding from my eyes again. I can't read the script.
Yeah, that would make sense.
All right. Well,
wouldn't that be great if this was all scripted?
It's a tightly scripted show.
It is. It's like wrestling. It's fake.
Yeah, exactly. We make it sound like we're just coming up with this off the fly, but this is
I'm not even from parts unknown.
No, not at all.
They're well known.
All right, we will see you next week, guys. Bye.
See you next time. I don't.